people that are willing to face their fears and put their skin on the line and actually say the prayer out loud that may or may not happen, but are willing to risk their skin and pray for someone for like radical healing. And I was wondering if you could speak a little bit to like what it actually looks like to like take hold of that kingdom, because I don't consider myself necessarily a forceful woman, but it's more like with fear and trepidation I go anyway.
I think you could use a cognate word, and I don't think you'd be violating the principles of translation out of the Greek. Determined men and women. Because people who are determined, they do have a certain kind of a force. It's a bit of a push, but it doesn't mean that they're loud or abrasive. They're moving forward with this thing. And you know, one example of this, I have a friend, and this story is about 3 years old now, but his wife came down with a tumor on her brainstem, right back here. And it was about the size of, you know, my thumbnail, or maybe a little bigger. They lived in Australia, and they could see this tumor on the brainstem very clearly in an MRI or a CAT scan. There was no question what it was. And she was having what she herself termed ice pick pain. Like someone had taken an ice pick and just right there. And so she was completely wrecked, and she couldn't really, she was going to have to leave work, but you know, they consulted all the surgeons, and they said, you know, look, we really can't do anything about this, because if we cut her open to try to remove that, given that it's on the brainstem, we might get the tumor, but we could either paralyze her or kill her. I mean, it's the brainstem, right? So, I mean, this is too high risk. It's terrible. We'll give her all the morphine she wants, but this is her lot. So he and I talked, and he has a very similar set of beliefs to what I do with respect to these matters of the kingdom. And Australians are rather matter of fact, and they like the word crap. So he says to me, "This is crap." And I said, "Yeah, I agree." And he said, "We're going to go after this thing." Now, he and I pursued the Lord about the answer to that healing for 9 months. So between us, 18 man months, and if you throw his wife in the mix, that's 27 months. And there were members of the church and stuff. But I would say really it was he and I that were the ones really pursuing this. And we were ransacking the scriptures, we were fasting, we were praying, asking God, we called a few prophets. I mean, we did everything we could think of. Were we aggressive about it? I would say we were pretty aggressive, but I think determined is a better profile of that. Because no one was yelling or screaming or, you know, carrying on. But anyway, in the end, we figured out, here's the key to unlock that healing. You know, one of the things Jesus said is, "Fear not, little flock. It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom." Translated into normal English, that means your Father wants to give you the kingdom more than you want the kingdom. And he said your Father will give you the keys to the kingdom. That means some doors are locked and you need a key to unlock it and push it open. And the Lord dropped a key into our hands, and we went, we're going after this. And you know what? When we prayed for her, using that kingdom key that he gave us for her, she was healed in about 30 seconds. And that was the end of it. The tumor vanished, and it's never been seen on a CAT scan or an MRI since. The pain is gone, and she's a totally normal person. So, but it took us 9 months of determined pursuit. So that's what I think we're really talking about, is that insistence, that I'm not giving up on this. The fundamental principle here is God is good and he is broken in and the invasion is underway. I live in that reality, so anything that's contrary to it, I push it out of the way. I dismiss it because it's wrong.